Last time on the Incorrigible party. Hatching an exit plan to safely get Benito Algator back to the keep once the party has left Storm's End. They skulk through the city to meet with Officer Olm Nedbull, noting a very late night operation of the Plateau Lift. Arriving at the shores of Storm Cape Bay, the party launches a gifted rowboat into choppy waters, narrowly avoiding an incoming Veritas longship, but unable to avoid the even narrower squeeze through rough, water-filled rock tunnel, finally reaching their cell in Storm Cape Prison. Olm lights a hooded lantern, turning it down about as low as it can go before he unlocks your cell. I mean, while the four of you, again, can see okay-ish in the dark to varying degrees, Olm is a human, so he cannot. But he does produce a pair of shackles for each of you, where he'll secure your wrists together, connecting all four of you by a 20-foot length of chain. And he kind of like attempting to keep his voice low, right, as he's picking up his lantern after securing you, he speaks to you. Inmates get about 10 hours out of their cell a day, closer to 14 if you get on a work detail.
Okay.
Yeah, where we go, the yard or something?
Hey, Storm's End, there's no yard. You're underground the whole time. You don't see daylight, nothing.
So, like, people just sit around for 10 hours, or?
Well, yeah, I mean, you could work out in the common area, sit in the cafeteria, visit the commissary, whatever.
No sun? Ever?
No. That's why this place is so terrible.
I guess we gotta stay in cell block B though, right?
Well, yeah, look, I'm going to take you to your cells, and then you'll be free to go to the common areas. I'll be on shift in your block, okay? But, don't be expecting no special treatment or nothing. And remember, I'm just another no-good prison guard that could beat you down anytime I want. And if you step out of line, I may have to.
That's not very nice.
Ain't nothing personal. I'm rooting for you guys.
Yeah, we're really gonna need to just keep our noses down in here and try and stay out of trouble. This isn't a nice place.
Now, Benito. He's a skinny fella, a little elf. He's got a real tiny little black mustache, slick black hair. Look, you can't miss him. He's always got his partner with him, Zev. He's this big lumbering sumbitch. But you get in his good books, he's as harmless as a kitten. You piss him off, and you're facing the lion if you get me.
Is Zeb a lion or an elf? What is he?
Zev's just a human. He's just big.
Big guy.
We're not here to get no Zev out, so, I guess he's just gonna lose his friend.
Well, he's gonna know we don't want him to tell. We're gonna have to do something about him.
I don't think you'd run anything through past Benito without it going through Zev, too. So
That's what I'm saying.
I wouldn't worry about trying to get him separated or nothing. You're going to tell one, you're probably going to tell them both.
So does that mean Zev's coming with us?
Hey, look, you're supposed to get in here and get Benito, and maybe if you can, find your friend. How you get out with whom, it's going to be up to you, okay?
In the dark. The whole time.
Well, there's going to be some lights once in a while. Yeah, inmates about to wake up soon. But look, when you get Benito on board, you give me a signal, and I'll get you my master key that lights out. Now, once I give you that key, you got to get out of here that night. Otherwise, I'm in it, all right? I'm in it without that key.
No fresh air.
It's gonna be okay, Kylia. It's okay. We can see in the dark.
We're not gonna be in here very long, Kylie. It'll be okay.
Take a deep breath. It's pretty... yeah. Doesn't smell good, but it's air.
The walls. Walls are everywhere.
I guess once this is all done, we give that key back to Zalmo, he gives it to you. You're all good. You're safe then.
And now, once you get back to the cell, you leave it in this cell. I'm going to need to retrieve it after you're gone. I can't walk out of here off shift without it.
But, like, we need it to get into wherever Happy is. Does that key work to get into solitary?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a master key. I can get anywhere in the prison as long as I'm assigned there. But look, like I said before, I don't show up in Block A. I don't really know what goes on in there. There's a specific guards that are always on shift there, but yes, the key will get you in there if you got to get in there. But like I say, once I give it to you, you got the night and that's it. Otherwise, I got to get it back. And then you got to reschedule. But whatever.
Gotcha. Understood.
All right, let's get going. No talking from here on out, all right? And then pay attention to the route I'm taking. It'll be the fastest way to backtrack.
Before we're quiet, Kylia, if you are scared, maybe say Shadel can take over for a little bit. She's supposed to protect you,
Oh,
right?
dearie, we're ahead of you on that one.
Right, you said you protect her, so protect her. You better.
Everything's just fine and dandy. Don't you worry.
All right, thanks, Lila. Get it?
Yes, very clever, Jewel.
Oln leads you down kind of a long corridor, of which your cell is located at the very end. And, nothing but now that you've stopped talking, as directed by the prison guard escorting you, the clinking of your chains is really the only thing that's kind of softly echoing along with your footsteps right off the rough stone as you're passing by like rows of cells filled with sleeping inmates. Oln's lantern kind of throws dim light for himself only about 10 feet in front of him. Again, just enough for his human eyes to navigate. You see about every 30 feet along these corridors and everywhere that Oln leads you, mounted about a foot below the 10-foot ceiling above you, you see small lanterns, reminding you immediately of your recent trip to the hedge maze and the lunar lamps there that control the tireless gladewood growth. They're very clearly like a similar design or like a retrofitted or modified version of those lamps, or at least the casings in which that house the lunar light that affects the growth. But suddenly they wink on, right, one after the other, almost like starting from further or starting from behind you, right, and like they ripple down the corridor as it kind of all turning on across the whole prison. And they each only throw their own 10-foot radius of dim light. So even with these lanterns now fully illuminating the prison corridors, it's still pockets of dim light and shadows, basically. But navigating the maze that is Storm's End, Oln takes the first right you come across, then continues straight, passing like a bunch of branching tunnels to your left and to your right, before taking a left, passing more tunnels that run deeper into this cell block. And again, as you're traveling, you hear a long, like, buzzing sound lets out, followed by dozens and dozens of clicks of locks disengaging. And the inmates in their cells have begun to stir. Clearly, this is like the wake-up call, right? And then these cell blocks magically unlocking all at once. And many of them, inmates you see, like, are kind of up immediately, pulling open their own cells to funnel the opposite direction that you're going, basically, as they kind of line up like single file and move down this kind of narrow hallway. More blue and yellow-clad guards are also walking the tunnels at this point. Like Oln, each of them carries a club at their waist in kind of like a sheath rather than like a bladed weapon within the prison. Oln, of course, gives a nod to many of them as you're passing by. You reach a particularly sour-looking guard. He's got kind of a long, gaunt face, and he holds a hand up to Oln, motioning for him to stop. Hey, morning, you. Officer Nedbull. Now, where would you be off with a cadre of inmates from my cell block, Hey, transfer papers came in for this lot. Just carrying out the orders, you. Look, you can check for yourself if you want, but you'll see it's all filed, all squared away with the warden. And Officer Huel kind of huffs at Oln's response. And he begins to slowly look each of you up and down, quickly dismissing Hellcrock, Opal, and Kylia. Too skinny, too small, too pathetic. And he stops in front of Rumpke. He kind of seizes one of your calloused hands chained together, Rumpke, before dropping it, withdrawing his club. He places it under your chin, like to raise your gaze to him. This one is still mine. You make sure Scribes knows he belongs to C Block, Oln. He fights for me, nobody else. Hey, sure thing, you. He's all yours. Gotcha. Officer Heel kind of grimaces in what could only be like his version of a smile, right? Like this mix between a smirk and he still looks disgruntled and sour and angry. But he'll sheath his club before he starts to walk off. And as he does, he starts barking at more of the prisoners to keep their eyes on the floor, giving some of them like a shove to speed them up down the hall. And Olin kind of, again, keeping his voice quiet. Shit, he wasn't supposed to be on shift yet. Kind of looks at you, Rumkey. Hey, you best be prepared for a visit from the guards tonight. You'll be fighting in the pit.
This is not good.
I'll talk to scribes, and maybe there is an opening for a fight here for you, but he pulls some of his own weight around here,
Yeah, I can throw a fight. I can look bad. They can want to get rid of me.
Perfect. Eyes down, inmate! And Owen will tug on your connected chain, and you can continue through the prison. And you ultimately take a final right. And ahead of you now, you can see there's a large, solid metal gate. And it's kind of built like into the stone walls. On it, there's a sloppily painted letter B. Owen produces his master key and unlocks this sliding gate, throwing it open, ushering you all through, quickly securing it again behind him as he steps across the threshold as well. And on this side, a letter C is painted on it, and clearly denoting the block that you'll be entering rather than the block you're in, by the looks of it. From this gate, Olin leads you another few hundred feet down a straightaway. You kind of pass another left turn, but you take a second left down a tunnel that splinters off at a 45-degree angle for another couple hundred feet or so to a dead end, where Olin unshackles each of you, and he kind of opens up one of the unlocked cells. Well, it is your new home for a little bit. You can, when you're ready, you can make your way to the common area, grab some of that slop they serve for breakfast. Just take that first left back there, the way we came, and follow the noise. And hey, good luck to you.
We don't need luck, honey.
That's good to hear. Oh, and look, the maid service might have left you a little mint under your pillows. And he'll kind of give you all a wink as he trudges off, pulling out his club, and he begins like mindlessly twirling it by the wrist strap that's attached to the bottom. Little whistle as he moves out of sight as he leaves you.
Do I remember Officer Huel from when I was in prison over a decade ago?
You don't. Huel does look like he's fairly young, probably about 20 years Olin's junior, and Olin looks like to be in his like late 50s into his 60s.
I want to go see what's under my pillow.
And I'll go check under the pillow.
Okay. So Olin has taken you to an identical cell to the one that you had broken into in block C. And you each find a knife, essentially. A shiv is what he's promised you, right? All similarly crafted in these knives. Mint, exactly. But really they're actually sharpened, very thin pieces of stone. One end of them is wrapped in shreds of what look like prison clothes to form a protective handle. And the stone blades themselves, though they're clearly from the same type of rock that the prison itself, like they match the walls that are all around you, right? And they're roughly about 3 inches long, so it's kind of very small. I would say probably about half the size of your standard dagger.
This will do just nicely. And Sheshadal will tuck this rock into her pants.
Ooh, girl.
Okay, and again, there is one for each of you. I don't know if you're all going to arm yourselves immediately or what the plan is for that.
100%.
Yeah.
Opal takes hers.
Yeah, I think Helbrook would as well.
Hides it in her hair? There's not many places to hide when you're in a freaking burlap
You can
sack.
certainly like tuck it into a waistband or
Alright.
of your prison
Between
clothes.
my luscious opal boobs.
All right, who wants to go hear what the scuttlebutt is and get a little slap?
Yeah, I mean, that might be a good opportunity to try and figure out where Benito is.
I've been practicing my prison face.
Your prison face.
Yeah, look at it.
Oh,
Looks like the same face.
You look constipated.
Oh. I mean, maybe I am. We're gonna have a bunch of slop, though, so that'll sort itself out.
There isn't a lot of fiber in the food in here if it's the same as when I used to be here.
There isn't a lot of protein or carbohydrates in it either.
Ew.
I think what we gotta do is we gotta ask around for this Zeb guy.
Well, I don't want to ask. I just want to listen.
Well, I mean, no, just say, find out who this Zeb guy is. I mean, he's gonna lead us to Benito.
Sounds pretty big. We might be able to just figure it out by listening without, becoming obvious.
Yeah, let's go see what's walking around out there. Look for the little guy with a mustache, black hair.
Well, there's strength in numbers in here. We should probably stick together.
I think I'm gonna stay close to Rumpke. Personally.
I got your back.
I'm apparently too small.
Yeah, somebody comes up to us, giving you trouble, you get behind me, and then when the right moment comes up, I'll move away and you can shiv him.
Shiv him in the guts.
Yeah. Shank him.
Yeah.
Whatever way.
Shank him.
So, Hellcrook's time in Storm's End could potentially be quite impactful during your bout here with the party. So, we kind of need to determine which cell block you served your time in.
I feel like I was in all of them, probably, so I've got a very good understanding of the layout.
He knows it all.
Let me explain the mechanics before you run your mouth a little bit here. Buddy.
If you choose one, you can excel at that more than the others. So.
With Block A being solely solitary confinement, that's going to leave you with about a 30-ish% chance, right, of being from cell Block B. Now, you were released from Storm's End 15 years ago, and there are many inmates that have been incarcerated for much longer than that, Benito Algator being one of them. As you all know, that he's been in here for at least 20 years when the Prowlers Guild went up in flames. So certainly not every interaction you have during your incarceration or had while you were incarcerated was a negative one, obviously, right? So being recognized may not end up being a bad thing, completely depending on the situation. So I'm going to ask you to roll me a percentile die. If you get a 1 to 30, you're from Block B, and you will have a 30% chance of being recognized. Now, at some point, depending again on who you talk to or who you run into, I will ask you to basically roll me a recognition roll, and depending on what block you're from is going to dictate the range in which you will be recognized or not be recognized, okay? So if you get a 1 to 30, you're in Block B with a 30% chance of being recognized. 31 to 60, from Block C, and a 20% chance. 61 to 90, Block D, and a 10% chance. If you roll a 91 to 100, I will give you your choice of what cell block you were from. So you will get to decide, do you want a really low recognition chance or really high if you think one would be more beneficial than the other, okay? And again, so I will be asking you for that roll when you have like direct run-ins with inmates or potentially older guards, right, who have been in Storm's End for more than 15 years. Your percentage will specifically represent the impact that Hellcrook Tread had on Storm's End. Obviously, your association with Eleanor is impacted the impression that you left, right? But Eleanor certainly would have had her own significant impact on long-standing inmates and guards. So potentially, if you mention Eleanor to the right person, which you would have a pretty good idea of who and who not to mention her to, at least for the time you were here, that might prove to grease some wheels for yourself as well, okay? So go ahead and roll your percentile, and let's see what block you were from.
Does this impact my knowledge of the layout as well, or not so much? More so just being recognized?
Well, this is specifically whether you were recognized. You will definitely have an innate knowledge of the way the prison works and the layout, but you can even see, even as Olin had taken you through the little bit of hallways and corridors that he did, like you see the signs of the expansion since you've been here.
Gotcha.
So there's definitely going to be areas that are brand new and that you never would have served time in, especially if you end up not being from cell block B, then you really won't have any idea what the layout is, right? Other than the little crappy hand-drawn map that Olin has provided the party with.
Looks a lot like your hand drawing, actually.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I rolled an 83.
An 83. Okay. That means you are from D.
And that's the expansion, isn't it?
It is.
Well, actually, yeah, D would be the most recent expansion, absolutely. Yeah. So that means you're going to have a 10% chance of being recognized if I ask you to basically roll a recognition roll. Okay.
Okay.
And again, so that like represents obviously some long-standing inmates. There's Olin had said transfers from blocks happen, fairly frequently. So you probably wouldn't have spent all of your time in solely block D, but predominantly, we'll just simplify it, right? And predominantly block D.
Gotcha.
Rumpke and Opal. Now, you both also have your potential associations with prisoners in Storm's End. Olin, again, mentioned like no new transfers or new inmates have entered Block B for more than 6 months. And if we consult our handy-dandy World Anvil character timelines, we see that Opal has been selling her healing tonics for at least 10 months, and Rumpke was ousted from the Masons Assembly nearly 8 months ago, which directly led to him becoming an unsanctioned fighter at the Bash and Clash. Fights that are tied to, but not directly under the purview of the Brawlers Club when they're unsanctioned, but they are fights that the party knows that the Trinity oversees. And the party knows that Storm's End is largely a housing project and revolving door for many Trinity members. So, Rumpke and Opal, each of you will have a flat 5% chance of being recognized when dealing with somebody in Cell Block B that has been in the block for under 1 year. So if you come across somebody that has been in prison longer than a year but less than 15, that's your sweet spot of dealing with people, basically. That person will not recognize anybody. All right, is that clear?
Yeah.
Clear as mud.
All right. So on to the common areas then.
Away we go. Yes.
Everyone's got their shank?
Shanked up.
Is there like a little place that we can sort of stick it into our belt area or something to be able to, hide it so you don't have to hold it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you can like put it into your waistband or like your pants do have 2 front pockets. I mean, you could put it in your pocket if you want. Like I said, it's like 5 inches long, maybe, right? The blade itself is only 3
like
inches
hold it
long.
up your
They're
sleeve.
fairly small. Yeah, you got long sleeves. If you want to try to tuck it up your arm somehow, you can try to figure that out as well.
It's
Okay.
like a quick drop and stab.
And obviously, the point of a weapon like this in the context in which you'll be wielding it is so it is fairly easily hideable, right? So you follow Olin's kind of loose instructions. You backtrack to that first left turn, which of course now is a right turn since you're moving in the opposite direction down this hallway. And from here, you can kind of follow the echoes of chatter, of voices, right? Until you find the large common area. Hellcruck will certainly recognize this common area as being, again, near identical to what Cell Block D's common area looks like from his time there. You see the ceiling here is, unlike the tunnels, which are only 10 feet tall, here it's about 30 feet tall. And there's 4 large support pillars that kind of bisect this 200 by 200 foot space, roughly. And they're kind of spaced every like 50 feet or so down the center of it. Clearly, this space is like carved around these supports, as they look like they're a single piece, like melded into the floor and the ceiling, right? Because again, remember, you're under like this mountain, basically. So everything here is been carved and chiseled out to make the available space here. You see above you, there is a perimeter walkway, and it serves as a bit of like a second floor, kind of like a mezzanine, and a set of stone stairs, which also look like they've been carved from the space, essentially carved around them, right? Rather than a section that has been moved in here and placed, right? There's a set of stairs in every corner of this room to get up there. And it does seem that it basically serves as a lookout, a vantage point for the guards. There's only guards up there. You can count, there's 10 guards walking this upper area, which actually does include Oln, as they're all clearly keeping an eye on the inmates. And you also see an additional number of guards that are positioned along the lower perimeter as well, on the bottom floor here. Another 12, another dozen. Stone tables and chairs fill most of this space. Rumpke, you recognize these chiseled chairs as a very simple design that masons in training would create to practice their trade. So many of them are wonky and kind of they're not, the seats aren't level, right? You'll be sitting on a slant. Some of them have legs that are shorter than the others, right? Or longer, I guess, if you're a glass half full kind of person. It's like the offshoots, right, have been utilized and used here for the inmates. On the opposite side of where you've entered, you see there's a line of prisoners. They're clearly like waiting to grab some food at what serves as it looks like a kitchenette area, or like the cafeteria section of this common space. And it is very loud in here, right? There's chatter from what looks like nearly 300 people here that's bouncing around this hollowed out space. What would you like to do?
Scan the crowd.
Yeah, first we just sort of go get food and find a place to sit down and sort of look around, right? Don't stand out.
We're all gonna follow Rumpke's lead.
So Rumpke, you head off to start to line up the rest of the party in tow. Kylea, do you want to be a little surreptitious of how you're viewing this crowd as you're looking around, or you just kind of, head on a swivel, not really worrying about that?
Right now, head on a swivel, just like looking at everybody, just looking around.
So, as you are lining up for some food, it does look like the majority of the people, Kylea, that you're kind of looking at and taking in, all of you see, like, most of them have a visible Trinity tattoo, right? Like that simple triangle that's inked in, right? And there's as you're getting closer to this cafeteria side, kind of off to the right of it, along one of the far walls, you see like there's a cluster of 5 or 6 tables with a number of inmates that they kind of just look like they're picking at their food plates, like showing no real interest in what's in front of them. And they stand out very clearly compared to the rest of the room because they've all sustained some manner of injury. They've got blood-stained cloth wrappings like around forearms and upper arms, across bare chests and abdomens. One kind of, you see one begins to like furiously scratch all over their body as if they're covered in bugs. A few of them all look like their prison shirts are drenched through with sweat, and they all look like fidgety. But you also quickly locate Benito, matching the description that Owen gave you. You spot this very thin-looking elf with an even thinner black mustache. He has shoulder-length, kind of jet black hair that's slicked right back. And he is, as Olin had said, it wouldn't be very far from, sitting with a largely muscled human. And you see he has, obviously, Zev. He's got significant, like, graying in his short beard and hair. He looks to be in his late 40s or so. And even though there's only just the two of them sitting at this table that would, be meant for more like 6 or 8 people, you don't see anybody like attempting to carry over their own food trays to sit and eat with them. But those that do approach the two of them, they seem to do just like to simply greet them. Some of them shaking Benito's hand. Why don't each of you roll me an insight check as you're kind of taking this in?
Opal got a 21.
20. I got a 20.
Kylea got a 12.
Adjusted 20 for Hellcrook.
Even with the lowest of Kylea's 12, like you see a few that do ultimately approach the two of them. On occasion, someone approaching Benito, the muscled guy Zev, he will like immediately get to his feet, clearly in like this act of intimidation. Before, like, you see Benito just kind of softly grabs one of his hands, gives it a light squeeze, and then Zev will sit back down, continue eating the food in front of him. And you get the very distinct impression that when Zev intervenes, it's because the person approaching isn't like actually acquainted with Benito. But you get the same feeling after each interaction, whether Benito and Zev know the visitor or not, that they're simply, the visitor is like there to pay respects to Benito. And this occurs with individuals that clearly have Trinity tattoos displayed, but also a few that don't seem to be associated with the Trinity, at least from any visible markings that they don't have the tattoo, from what you can see.
Sounds like one of us there need to go up and, sort of pay tribute there to Benito. Let him know we know he's the guy. What do you think, Hellcrook? Is that how this plays out here?
It does kind of look like that's what's going on.
But just one of us, not all of us.
Yeah. Who wants to do it?
Well, I mean, obviously it's you. You're the chosen one.
I'm the chosen one?
Yeah, you're like the one
I didn't even know!
Because you're gonna fight. So, like, you're the guy. He's gonna want you on the side.
Now you scared me.
Well,
I
sorry.
am a little bit worried. Looks like he might have a good thing going in here. Hopefully he's interested in getting out. Some people, they almost sort of end up liking the situation they get set up for themselves in here. It's very unusual, but...
Well, I assume if we mention Zalmo's name, he knows the skinny here, and he'll let us know, give us the eye, so to say.
Didn't Zelma want to take down the Trinity? Don't mention Zelma.
Zalmo's trying to get Benito out.
Did you get the feeling that maybe Zalma wasn't sure how Benito felt about him?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't say we're working with Zalmo just yet.
Say, hi, my name's Delta. We're gonna bust you out of this joint.
That's exactly what we don't want to say.
Right, I'm going to be quiet.
You won't be there.
Hey, would you hurry up? Come on, the line's moving.
Sorry. Put some slop on this, right here. Little extra on the side here.
And you get a scoop of, like, white oatmeal-looking kind of substance slopped into your bowl.
This ain't so bad. It sort of smells a little bit, but... I'd move on and try to find a spot to sit. An empty table if one's available.
When the slop gets put on Hellcrook's tray, he kind of just pauses for a second, looks down at it, lets out a sigh, and then keeps moving.
Yeah, and you're able to find an empty table, for sure.
Alright, so, how are we going to convince this guy that we're there to get him out? I mean, we can't stay in here for a long time to sort of feel him out. We got to do this quick.
Were we given a secret word? A code word? Password?
Nobody told me anything.
Rumpke, if you are not feeling up to this, we could go talk to him.
That's fine if you want to. I mean, I'm happy to do it. But if you feel like you're saying you don't want to mention Zalmo's name, then what's your plan?
Mainly to say hello and introduce ourselves at this point in time. I think maybe at dinner we broach the subject of maybe a future alliance.
Alliance against who?
Not against anyone, just to be friends.
I don't know if that kind of guy needs friends. That's, he sort of tells other people what to do.
Then you go talk to him.
I just hope that he's going to be so eager to get out of here, he's not going to ask too many questions.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think we've got some time. We've got dinner, right? It's early. I'll go over and say hi. How about that?
You call this dinner? Ugh.
Whatever. It's breakfast, dinner, lunch. It all looks the same, so it probably all tastes the same.
Ugh. I want to go home.
Sure, get used to it. Alright, here you go. I sort of push my tray back and get up and slowly start walking over, keeping an eye on Zev as I walk over slowly and sort of put my hands out in front of me, not a threat kind of thing. And I start walking over to his table.
Now, before we get into this conversation, there was one little mechanical tidbit about the recognition rules that I forgot to impart upon you, so sincerest apologies. But as the party spends more time in Storm's end, and as you're seeing more and are interacting with more of the block's inmates, potentially more transfers or new arrivals might show up from other blocks, these percentages are going to rise. So to mechanically represent this, for every day you spend in Storm's End, that will increase the percentages by 5%, okay? So currently they're going to be as they stand, 10 for Hellcrook, 5 for Opal and Rumpke. But obviously tomorrow, if you're still here, that's going to increase to 15 and 10 respectively, okay?
And we do or we don't want to be recognized? Because if we do, maybe they'll tell us things.
Well, this is what I'm saying. But depending on the situation, it could be good and it could be bad, right?
Yeah.
So, yes, Rumpke, you kind of... Rumpke, why don't you give me a performance roll as you attempt to kind of approach kind of deftly and making yourself look like less of a threat than this pit bull of a dwarf usually looks like.
Okay, I got a 9.
Okay. Well, you approach as a Trinity member is basically just departing from speaking with Benito. And you get 15 feet from the table before, like, Zev is up. He's dropped his little spork onto, full with porridge into his bowl. And he's, like, on his feet, basically watching you approach.
Okay, so I sort of take a short pause and look at him and then slowly start progressing towards the table to see if he makes any kind of moves. If he doesn't, I continue on.
Zev just clearly watches you. And you see Benito, again, puts down his spoon far less aggressively than Zev does. He'll kind of like wipe his mouth with a napkin he has. And he kind of turns to you. Well, a newcomer to Block B.
Yeah, Delta Bronx. Nice to meet you there. Your name is Benito, I hear.
My reputation precedes me as it often does in here. I am Benito Agator.
Yeah, nice to meet you. I just came in with some friends of mine. Had a little bit of a mishap, and we all sort of ended up here. Just wanted to pay respect to you and your friend here, and just introduce myself. And you can meet my friends later on. They'll come over and introduce themselves as well.
And you see he kind of pats Zev's hand. Yes, Zev is quite protective. Pleasure to meet you. I certainly appreciate the gratitude.
I hear you've been here quite a while. Any chance you're going to be getting out soon?
I do not expect so, no.
All right, well, it was nice meeting you. As I said, my friends will introduce themselves at a later date. And I sort of give a little, slight bow and, just a little head nod and move back and walk back to the table.
The second that Rumpke leaves the table, this very, skinny-looking, kind of scrawny human, he's probably no older than 20, 25 by the looks of him. He, immediately sits down into Rumpke's seat. Hey, new to the block, eh?
Who are you?
Well, I'm Jimmy No Shoes.
Kylie will look at his feet.
How's it going? He is not wearing the little booty slippers, no.
You're barefoot.
Yeah, that's my name. Look, I'm the best thief you've ever met. That's why I wear no shoes.
If you were the best, why are you in here?
Unrelated reasons.
Yeah, I see.
Why are you in here? What's everybody here for, huh?
We never claimed to be the best.
What do you claim to be?
I mean, we stole. We're thieves. We're robbers. Yeah. You got caught too. You're in here too.
So
Jimmy.
you got an opening on your crew then, is what you're saying.
Well, when
No.
you getting
Look,
out of here?
You don't want to stick around with that big guy. He can't move around all quiet. Look at him.
I think it's time. And this voice is coming from nowhere. You got up and left the table.
He certainly looks confused. Oh, I see you got a fourth member already, huh?
No, you're hearing things. What?
What do you mean? You don't hear that voice?
What voice?
That melodic, disembodied voice? That's scary and sexy at the same time?
Leave. Now.
I don't hear anything. You're going crazy. This guy's
He
weird.
will, he gets to his feet as Seisha tells him to leave again, and, scampers and bumps into Rumpke on Rumpke's way back.
Hey, watch out!
Oh,
there,
hey,
buddy.
sorry.
Put some shoes on.
Yeah, get your mind right. Go to bed.
Yeah, what that guy want?
He was trying to take your place, Rumkey. Trying
He
to
wanted to join our crew.
find a new crew, yeah.
Oh yeah? What'd you tell him?
To leave.
I tried to convince him he was crazy for hearing Seishadal's voice. Yeah,
That shouldn't take much talking.
exactly. Kinda gaslit him a little.
So, how'd it go?
Yeah, I just sort of poked a little bit. Introduced herself. Said we just got here. Said you three will be going over and introducing yourself to him later. Paid some respects and such.
Just a little prison poke.
I asked it. Yeah, just asking him if he was able to get out of here anytime soon. You know, if he's going to be released for some reason. He seemed to think he's going to be here a while. So, I don't know. Just sort of planting some seeds right now. Maybe later on we can plant some more and see how he reacts.
How long are we gonna be in here?
I don't think this is going to be as quick as we'd liked.
Hopefully not too long. Oh, Jewel.
Right, Lila. My tummy hurts. This is gross.
You get used to it. Make sure you eat it all. You're going to need the protein.
How do you know? Have you been in here?
Eh, not right here, but yeah, I've had this crap. I mean, look at Hellcrook. Look how big he grew up on it.
He's right. You want to get as much nutrition as you can in here.
Gross.
I know. It's not the best, but we're gonna be out of here soon.
Hold your nose and eat it.
You know I'm kind of a foodie. I love my ingredients.
We know.
You suddenly hear the crashing of someone's plate and bowl, followed by a second one. Yelling breaks out and screaming at the table where the bandaged, kind of twitchy people were. See, two of them have started brawling. They're just trading blows back and forth. One of them blasts the other with a bout of magic, some type of cantrip, knocking them back. The guards on the lower floor immediately start to swarm. Trudging boots echoing off the stone from the top floor as the 10 above join. Each one of them pulled out their clubs, right? And they get to this group. Now the whole table is now brawling. And the guards start to beat down on every offender, right? I mean, like a quick 20 seconds of this breaking out, and the guards have it under control. Each of them pinned down, and they lug them up once they've kind of stopped struggling, and begin to cart them out of the common area.
Do we get the impression that these guys are just, bad seeds that just go off at the drop of a hat and beat the hell out of each other, or are they got some kind of disease type of thing when you describe bleeding and all
They're
that?
rabid.
You said they were really sweaty and they weren't eating any food, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you each make me a medicine check then?
Hellcrook's not much of a doctor.
What's up with that group?
Got a 4.
Not one for Hellcrook.
Same.
Hey!
For a total of 2.
Delta got an 18.
Nice.
Rumpke knows nothing. Delta knows everything.
Delta, on the other hand.
Actually, Kylea, you are going to have advantage on this roll.
Oh, snap. I'm so useless without my supplies.
10.
Average.
1 to all of you, it's clear their injuries, it's not they're not wrapping bruises, right? They're clearly some type of cut, or broken skin, because the rags, you see blood spots pouring through the rag, right? So every guard here, they don't wield bladed weapons, right? It's all blunt instruments. So I don't think he was surmised that these are wounds inflicted from guards. They're clearly from something bladed, basically, something sharp, which, I mean, you're all holding something very sharp anyways, but it doesn't look like the wounds that they sport were specifically inflicted by the guards. And as far as their odd behavior, Rumkey definitely being around the Bash and Clash and some of the unsanctioned fights and those that partake in the gambling and some of the more degenerate side of that bit of the Corlers exhibition. It looks like and reminds you of people like going through like withdrawal. Kylea, what you got a 10, you said, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Kylea could maybe chime in with Rumkey kind of voicing this, and like Kylea knows what someone on stupor looks like when they're on it. Maybe not so much when they haven't had a hit of it for some time. But I think the two of you together could kind of put, like, they're clearly like on something or coming down from something.
You did describe kind of tweaking behavior earlier. I was
Correct.
thinking.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys look like they're on the stoop.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is.
Oh, that flower stuff.
Yeah, they've been taking stupor.
Probably want to steer clear of those guys. They go off a drop of a hat.
Clearly.
What's going on with this chair? God, this must have been made by Keith. He was useless. Keeps on rocking back and forth and stuff.
Stick a napkin under it.
Yeah, ain't got no napkins. It's just annoying me.
I can put some slop under it. I'm not gonna eat it. Ugh.
So, I guess what's our next move here? We're gonna...
Well, we know who Benito is, right? But, like...
How are we gonna get Benito the message that we're trying to get him out? And how are we gonna get him to trust us? If we don't want to mention Zalmo, I mean, we don't know what Zalmo's getting him out for. Maybe Zalmo's getting him out to take him out.
Here's an idea. Everyone wants out. No one wants to stay here. So, we break out with the key, we go to his cell, and we say, let's go, we're breaking you out. He can't say no to that.
Yeah, he didn't know who the hell we are, though. Would you leave with somebody that just came and opened the door and said, hey, let's get you out of here?
If it's a chance to leave, heck yes.
Sounds like he's got a pretty good thing going here. I'm thinking he's running the show from in prison. For the Trinity.
Could be. What if he thinks it's a setup and,
Exactly. They're not the most trustworthy of people here.
Well, that's gonna take ages.
Yeah, I know. We gotta figure out somebody he trusts that can tell him.
Oh, like Zev?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know Zev. I don't know how to get in Zev's good graces.
Do you think Zev is in the fights?
Oh.
I look at him. Does he look like somebody that's a fighter? Like, looking at his, knuckles and his, telltale signs of a fighter?
You didn't see any or notice any like signs of abrasions or like he had been recently fighting or anything like that?
Yeah, he looks like a bodyguard, tough guy. I'm sure he could do well in the fights, but he's not in them.
So how do we get Benito to trust us?
I just want to get happy.
Oh, that's a good point. I don't see him around anywhere. I guess, well, if he's in solitary confinement, I guess he probably wouldn't be coming out to eat.
Hey, why don't one of you go talk to that Jimmy guy that was over here? Maybe tell him you're thinking a bit over, and maybe you'll let him be part of the crew. Maybe he can give us some information.
He didn't strike us as someone that knew anything.
He did seem a little bit desperate. Sometimes desperate people are willing to part with information. It's been a long time since I've been in here, so I don't recognize really hardly anybody.
Well, we can't talk to him.
Yeah, Hellcrook, or, sorry. We gotta get better at this, or we're gonna slip up.
Axel. His name's Axel. And I'm a Jewel. Like the rest of my family names, I'm a Jewel.
Yeah, Jewel, you're pretty non-threatening. Maybe you go over and...
Yeah, but I'm the one he was crazy. I told him he was hearing things.
Oh, that probably didn't work out well.
I can maybe see if I can mend that bridge a little bit, so to speak. Where'd he go? Do you see him?
follow the sweaty footprints.
Ew. But you're right.
And, that's good advice, Lila.
I'll stand up and kind of look in the direction that I think that he wandered off to, and see if I can see where he's sitting.
Sure. Give me a perception check.
16.
Yeah. So you fairly quickly spot Jimmy No Shoes, and it does look like he's flitting from like table to table and getting, as the three of you did, shunned and pushed away and basically brushed off. Looks like he's clearly like trying to strike up some type of friendship or camaraderie or something with a number of different tables. You know, a few of them, most of them Trinity members, might get like a little bit physical, like put their hands on them and like shove them away from them. But most of them just kind of give him the brush off like vocally.
So I'll go wander over his direction and see if I can catch his attention and kind of give him the like, hey, come here.
And he's like just picking himself up, like dusting himself off after getting pushed to the ground. Oh, hey, how's it going?
Hey, Jimmy. Axel's the name. Look, maybe me and my crew got off on the wrong foot with you. Might not be bad to have another person who's, got sticky fingers, quiet on their feet, What do you think you can offer us?
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm definitely not crazy, okay? And don't be spreading that around, eh? Don't tell anybody that. Don't tell Dr. Crockle that. Don't tell anybody anything, okay? Nobody needs to hear anything like that.
No. Your secret's safe with me, Jimmy.
No, but there's no secret. That's what I mean. I'm just Jimmy No Shoes. I'm just, the best thief there ever was. That's it. It's real simple.
I kind of tap my nose and wink at him.
I don't know what that means, okay? Look, I steal things, not gestures.
All right. Well, anyway, come on back to our table. There's an empty seat for you.
Hellcrook, what's your passive perception?
That would be 11.
He kind of like smiles, right, and comes up to you, puts an arm around you. I'll tell you what Jimmy No Shoes can offer you, and he'll produce your shiv that he's pickpocketed from you without your knowledge. We might keep this a little bit of a safer place.
Well. You weren't kidding about being a good thief. That's impressive.
And he'll like hand it back to you. Doesn't really try to be surreptitious about it. Like he just...
Yeah, Hellcrook will kind of like quickly try and pocket it and like look around to see if anyone seemed to have been watching.
Sure. You can give me a perception to see if anyone knows.
Natural 20.
You definitely catch a table of Trinity members. Definitely saw that you have this.
Come on, Jimmy. Let's go.
As we're sitting at the table, I look at those two and I see them coming back over, going, "Oh crap! He's bringing him over here. Everybody thinks that guy's a putz. I'm gonna get up and walk around." And I sort of get up away from the table.
Ladies, Jimmy will sit down in Rumkey's seat.
Jewel, Lila.
Yeah?
You met Jimmy earlier. Look,
Yeah, he's crazy.
let's...
Hey, look, I told Axel here, please, don't be spreading that around. If Dr. Cockle hears something like that, they'll take me away to the infirmary. I don't need to go to the infirmary. I'm not hurt. I'm not. I'm nothing. Well, he looks after, he's the physician for the jail, but he's not a real nice guy. You don't need to meet him. Please don't tell anyone. Don't be spreading that stuff around.
Stop
okay?
hearing voices.
I can't help what I hear. All right. He puts his fingers in his ears. Okay, there we go. I can't hear nothing now.
I'm gonna
Now
call
we
you.
just have a conversation. I can't hear nothing.
Jewel, we're trying to
my
make some
goodness.
progress here.
I'm gonna call you Jimmy No Ears.
What?
I reach over and pull on one of his wrists to pull a finger out of his ear.
Look,
Seychelles has her face in her hand, is just shaking her head.
So, you got an opening then?
well, here's the thing. what we really are interested in is maybe a little bit of information.
Yeah, we'll give you some shoes.
See that guy over there? And points to Benito.
Oh, Mr. Alcator, yeah, of course. Everyone knows Benito Alcator.
What do you know?
Well, I mean, I just know what everybody from Stormcave knows. I mean, he was the Prowlers Guild. Hell, he ran the Prowlers Guild. He got thrown in the clink. He got caught.
Obviously.
Obviously.
Do you know anything that's not obvious about him?
Well, obvious to me or obvious to you?
I don't know. Keep going.
What kind of operation does he have going on in here? It seems like a lot of people are going up and, being real friendly to him.
Is he the guy with drugs?
Drugs? What are you talking about?
Look
No,
at
no,
those.
no. I
Look at
don't
those
think.
guys. Look, they're tripping. Look at, and they're coming down real hard.
Who? I don't see nobody.
The ones that just got carted away.
Oh yeah. Those guys are in and out of solitary all the time. Hell, that's probably where the guards took them.
Solitary?
Well, I mean, you get in a fight. You saw the one throwing some magic around. They're throwing in solitary.
Okay. Have you been in there?
Yeah, you ever been in there, Jimmy?
No. I keep my nose clean as much as I can.
What do you know about the big fella?
Oh, you mean Zev? Oh, well, I think he's Benito's partner. I mean, they've been together since I've been in here.
How long have you been in here?
Oh, some say it's a sweet spot, but I've been here between 1 and 15 years.
Oh,
It's hard to tell. I can't see the sun.
What can I say?
yeah, that is a pretty sweet spot. What's the sentence? How long you got left?
Hopefully, I'm out in about 3 or 4 months.
Nice.
But it is hard to keep track of time down here.
What are most people looking forward to getting out, or looking for a way to get out? Or some people like it here?
Maybe those crazies, those weirdos that love solitaire.
Excuse
Yeah.
his question and the way it was put. What we really need to know is there any way to get out sooner?
You see, Jimmy clearly reacts to Seishidal speaking, but he makes a very concerted effort to ignore the voice and not react to it.
You heard the lady. Answer her question.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't hear anything.
It's Seishidal, okay? Sorry.
Is that supposed to mean something?
We know you heard it.
Heard what?
Wow.
Jimmy, dear, I can make your life so much worse.
That voice.
Starts nervously tapping his fingers on the table. I don't.
I assure you, we won't talk to the doctor. Please, look at me.
Is this some kind of weird initiation thing? Look, I'm happy to go through whatever I need to be part of the crew.
Yeah, I convince you you're crazy, then I convince you you're not, then I convince you you're crazy again. It's a game I like to play.
I had a really toxic relationship that's hitting home a little too close.
It's
there.
kind of fun though, right?
No, it's not.
And I
fun.
give him my prison face. That translates
You know
to
what?
podcast.
Maybe I will go see the doctor after all.
Ask for some stool softeners while you're in there.
Seishidal reaches out and touches his hand. Listen. Answer me. Now.
He doesn't pull away. I forgot the question.
Is there any way to get out early?
You could try joining the Trinity.
That's not an option.
I mean, you're gonna serve your sentence. I mean, how long are you all supposed to be in for?
Forever.
Wow, you must have sold something pretty big.
Haha, just played a game again.
That's of no importance.
We're shooting for a day and a half.
Shooting for never.
He looks at Jewel. You're very mean, but this is the longest that anybody has held a conversation with me since I've been in here, okay? And like I say, I've been in here from 1 to 15 years. So that's a long time to not have an extended conversation with somebody.
You're welcome.
So I'll stick around.
Has anyone tried to escape?
Well, yeah, of course, but I mean, they get as far as one of the locked gates, and then they get beat down and thrown into solitary.
So no one's made it out.
Not as far as I know.
Sounds like you don't talk to many people, so you probably just don't know.
Quite the contrary, Jewel. I talk to everybody.
Yeah, but they don't talk to you.
Well, that's not what you said, now is it?
But what you said is no one talks to you.
Yeah, but you said I don't talk to anybody.
Well,
Yeah, that's exactly what
touche.
you said.
You get this one.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Now, I see how this game works.
Jimmy, you said that the Trinity are able to get people out. What about that guy over there, Benito? Is he the head of the Trinity in here? Does he get people out? What's his deal?
No. What are you I don't know what are you so interested in Benito for? I mean, like yeah, like everybody knows who he is. He's kind of famous in here. He's a bit of a big deal, but I mean, he's just serving his time. As far as I know, he doesn't have anything to do with Trinity operations. Look, you want to get to the top of who's in charge of the Trinity around here. Well, that's the warden.
Oh, interesting.
What? The warden isn't on it?
Well, he's at least in their pocket. Who else has the power to swap members in and out however they like, I guess. Like, not for lack of trying, but I certainly am not a Trinity member. They have a rather rigorous, a very long process, recruitment process.
So anyone but you.
No, I didn't really have the time for it.
You have to be good at instruments. Yeah.
If you all get in there, maybe like the three of you could put in a good word for me, generate some good word of mouth. That's how things really get spread, right? Rumors especially. Think you could do that?
I can spread some rumors. I don't think you're gonna like it.
Please don't do that. I'm trying to be helpful here, please. He kind of turns to Axel. You seem like the only normal person here of the three, and that includes myself.
Well, Jimmy, this isn't my first rodeo. I've been in other jails before. I know how these things work. They're all the same. And it looks to me like this Benito fellow, he's got some power in here, and it pays to get on those people's good side. That's all I'm saying.
Well, have you gone and offered your respects?
No, not yet. I wanted to learn a little bit more about what I'd be getting into with him. What I'm in for, you know?
Honestly, he's pretty nice. I mean, like I say, he doesn't hold extended conversations, but I'll go say hi, give him a wave. You know, I'll get a glare from Zev and a bit of a wave back from Benito. He's pretty approachable, really, all things considered.
He just wants a wave? That's it?
I don't know if he wants it, but he politely returns it. Like I say, he's like kind of a celebrity around here. Everybody knows who he is.
And why, though?
I mean, why? I told you, he ran the Prowlers Guild.
What's his deal in here, though? Like, I know his reputation outside of here, but he's just, a nice person that people like to wave at in here. That's it. He's got to be up to something.
He's dealing drugs.
Do you think, he looks around the room, of all people in here to know if Benito Algator is doing some side business with the Trinity gang, that I would be the one that would have that information for you? Jimmy No Shoes?
Then I believe you are of no service to us any longer.
I'm of no shoes, but I can certainly provide service.
No shoes, no service. Sorry.
I mean, you do have a shirt on.
Well, Jimmy, I should mention that you blew my cover earlier, waving my shank around out there. That table over there, They saw you passing it back to me, and now they know that I've got it.
Yeah, I think I did you a favor. Now that table full of Trinity members know not to mess with you. You're all new blood. I'm surprised I'm the only one that's come up to you, give you a hassle so far. I mean, they're going to try to recruit you. They'll try to get everybody but me into their little stupid gang that's kind of useless and doesn't do anything anyways. But don't tell them I said that.
Right. Because if they asked you to join their stupid little gang, you would just bend the knee.
For survival.
Right.
That's how things work in here.
Mm-hmm.
You think I like getting pushed around from table to table like some kind of pinball?
I think you like the physical touch, yes.
Well, I mean, you get in here long enough, you start to crave it, sure, but that's besides the point.
Pinball's fun.
Maybe if you're the paddle, not when you're the ball.
That's ping pong. I said pinball.
I get those mixed up all the time. Look, I can go over. I'll go talk to Benito right now on your behalf if you like.
No.
No.
Should we just surround him?
And he starts to get up.
Johnny?
I grab his
His
shoulder.
name's Jimmy, not
Hey!
Johnny.
Hey! Ain't nobody misremembers Jimmy No Shoes' name, all right? Axel.
I corrected him.
Sit
Yeah,
down.
Axel was the good one. Mm-hmm.
You three are all over the place. I don't know who I hate more. But like I say, in here, it's a matter of survival. So I will remain seated for my own benefit and not to benefit any of you three.
Which cell are you in?
I want to look around for Rumpke.
What is Ronky doing?
As they're all over there fighting, and hearing some loud, expletives coming from the table, I'm going to sort of walk around. I'm looking for a guy that I think might look like a fighter, look like somebody that's built pretty well, looks like he took a beating. That's close over by Benito's area. So if I was to talk to him, Benito might be able to hear me.
You spot somebody sitting at the same table that has seen Hellcrux shiv. Clearly a member of the Trinity. And he also, you get up to him and, his face is battered up. He's got, 2 black eyes. You see the telltale signs of, rough and red and callous knuckles on his big hands.
So I sort of walk over and I look back at the table with them, and I'm like, God, what an idiot. Somebody ought to take that guy out. And I sort of look down at him. I go, hey, Charlie Bernhardt, right? You remember me? Yeah. It was 5-6 years ago, right? Delta Bronx, remember?
You got the wrong guy.
Really? You're not... Oh, you're a spitting image of him. Minus the thing on your face there. But,
My nose?
No. It looked like you, you took a few to the face. You a fighter?
He starts to look you up and down. When was the last time you had a fight, Rumpke? You've been fighting a ton, right, before you got into here. Are you a little battered right now?
It's probably been a couple days. I probably have a few little bruises that are about cleared up yet, but, not anything fresh.
He kind of recognizes the healing bruises and stuff on your face. Gives with a bit of a smirk. Yeah, I fight in here. I fight for Block B.
Oh, yeah? So, I sort of hold my hand out. What's your name? If you ain't Charlie.
I ain't Charlie, I told you. I'm not Charlie. The name's Jex.
Hey, Jex. Nice to meet you. Yeah, so how do you get signed up to do these fighting things? What do you get if you win?
You get to not be punished by the guards.
Oh, that doesn't sound very, very good. What about one of these guys here? Anybody here run the show that sort of, you fight for him, like that guy over there, that Benito guy? Does he run a ring or something?
Benito Algator? No. The guards run the ring.
Oh. So what's that? What's the story with that dude?
You, not from around here, eh?
I haven't been in this particular prison.
Well, it's Benito Algator. knows who he is. Anyone from Storm Cape, anyways.
I heard he was some special guy, been in here a long time. Everybody seen. I went over and said hi to him. That's what they told me to do. What about you guys? Yeah. What's the triangles?
Oh, that's the Trinity. You really aren't from Storm Cape, then.
Nah.
So, are you asking about the fights? Does that mean you're fighting?
I've been known to make some coin here and there by knocking some lights out in my time. Yeah.
Well, then I don't imagine it's going to be very long before some guard scoops you up to fight for our block here. There's a bit of a rivalry between the guards in every block. Unfortunately, we're the ones that have to fight out that rivalry.
Yeah. Nice meeting you there, Jax. I'm gonna go back and finish my slop. Sort of keep my head low. Maybe, I sort of thought there might be something in it for me, but it sounds just like you're taking a beating for other people to make some money. Just gotta keep my head low.
He looks around. Where do you think you are? What else did you expect? You think you're going to be earning something? The only way you earn anything in here is getting on a work detail. And that list is a mile long of people wanting to get on it.
Oh yeah? Who you talk to for that?
Yeah, well, Rich runs the work detail list.
Alright, I'll start working on getting on that. If I can figure out how to... I'm sure he's on the take, right?
He's associated with the Trinity, yeah. A lot of people in here are. Hey, you can put your name on the list, but like I tell you, it's a mile long. If you're serving a couple decades, maybe you'll get into a work detail.
Places I've been, buddy, you just gotta figure out how to work the angles. I guess Rich Guy's probably got a soft spot somewhere. Usually money or something might loosen him up a little bit and pop me up on that list.
Oh yeah? You coming in with a sizable commissary, then?
I might know people that know people. Might be able to get some stuff in here that I need. You looking for anything particular?
Not right now, but that's good to know. What did you say? Delta Bronx, you said, yeah?
Yeah. Call me Delta. I don't like to use my last name much.
The Trinity's always looking for somebody like you.
Alright, nice to know you, man. I'd sort of turn around, walk back. I talked loud enough for Benito to hear me. So I just planting that seed there.
All of it? All of it was loud enough?
Yeah, whatever Leland thinks he heard. I mean, percentage-wise. Okay, and is Jimmy No Shoes gone from the table now, or is he still sitting there?
He's still sitting there. I don't know what the three of them are. So, okay, what is your goal with Jimmy here? Like, what exactly are you trying to... Are you done with him? You want to try to get rid of him? Or
I just assumed he had all the answers for us. He was the first NPC that came up to us.
We're just ignoring him now.
Leland lures us with a little guy with slappy bare feet. And just because he has a name, not Johnny.
I'm sorry that you latched on to the runt
worst
of
NPC.
the entire cell
Yeah.
block.
Wow, another journey through the mystical city of Storm Cape has come to an end. But before we bid adieu, let's extend our heartfelt thanks to our musical enchanters, Tabletop Audio and Sarastro Music, for painting our adventures with melodies as luminous as a freshly distilled flask of starlight. And to all you splendid patrons who keep our cauldron bubbling with support over at Patreon, you're the real magic makers behind the scenes. Oh, and speaking of magic making, don't be a stranger in our Discord realm. Join us, mingle, and maybe even concoct a bit of mischief along the way. Last, but certainly not least, dear listeners, don't take that invisibility potion. Spread the word, rate us, review us, and let your friends know where to find the best tales this side of the material plane. May your gears turn smoothly and your inventions never rust. Happy adventuring!
On the same stormy night that the party arrives in their cell, the darkened Veritas longship glides into an empty berth in Storm Cape Bay. Lit by the low light of hooded lanterns, well-armed deckhands extend a gangplank mooring the impressive ship with thick, silken ropes expertly knotted around metal cleats bolted to the wood of the dock. Each one of them displaying the encircled cross-shaped crest of the Veritas organization. Clearly waiting for the arrival of the Veritas ship, a sizable gathering of 24 elite city guards are arranged in 4 groups of 6, standing at attention behind the current heads of the founding families. While it is the responsibility of the elite guard force to ensure the safety of every founder, each family has their designated set, distinguished by the colors displayed in their armor. Geld Tusker the 14th, a male half-orc in his 40s, stands before his regiment of guards in pale yellow and white. His hands are clasped behind his back, unbothered by the stormy weather. Ike Peral, a male human in his early 20s, slouches before his elite guards, clad in their pale yellow and red, looking disinterested and annoyed as he examines his fingernails. Ilkane Volthram, a female dwarf in her mid-hundreds, paces impatiently before her half-dozen guards dressed in pale yellow and black. Her auburn hair that's fixed into a waist-length thick braid looks as black as the coloring of her guards as rainwater streams from the soaked end. Dallin and Dalla Amork, siblings, a male and female elf respectively, press their slender shoulders against each other to remain under the purple umbrella one of their guards holds above them, shielding them from the storm's rain as if they were allergic to water. Like the remaining 5 guards of their personal force, this guard sports a pale yellow and purple coloring. Arranging themselves in 2 rows down the length of the bay's dock, more Veritas warriors file out of the longship, matching the number of Founders' guards. 20 more are assembled at the edge of the longship's deck to survey the berth. Finally, a short, squat, and balding human male trudges his way off of the ship, his armor appearing 2 sizes too small for him. He pushes between the 2 lines of Veritas warriors, stopping before the Founders, bowing his head in greeting before raising his voice to be heard over the wind and rain. "Hello, Founders! I'm Ventus Kaito, envoy to the ever-powerful and ubiquitous Veritas organization." Each Founder bows their head in return, before Geld Tusker responds. "Well received, Envoy Kaito. A pleasure to meet you in person after our repeated correspondence." "Ah, then you must be Founder Tusker. Well received indeed. Now, let us get out of this horrid weather and get on with the inspection of your mineral mine. The stoneworks, I believe you called it, yes?" "An inspection immediately. Would you not prefer to delay until morning? And after all, you've come a very long way. The stoneworks will still be there tomorrow, of course." "Not in the slightest. I slept on the boat. Once I've confirmed your submitted reports of mineral typing and done some testing of my own, well, we can all be on our way back home. Of course, should my tests be conclusive for the presence of Zillium, I'm sure that you could agree to the Veritas, claiming ownership of such a remarkable find." Geld remains stone-faced at the mention of the precious substance that launched 3 eras of violence and subterfuge across Sentai. "I assure you, Envoy Kaito, there has been no Zillium recovered from the depths of our quaint city. Allow us to escort you to the stoneworks, where you can conduct your business and be on your way as quickly as possible." As the rank of guards, Founders, and Veritas warriors begin to file into the city towards the stoneworks, a large shadowy figure looms in the darkness, ever watchful for a moment to strike. This has been a Sounds of Steel production.